Make it a better place, a better place.
Be able to work together to transform the jangling discords of our nation into a beautiful symphony of brotherhood.
Let's arise and build, arise and build, arise and build our Bible to the next level.
The world of today is different from yesterday.
I'm running my own company. I use Nigeria. Industrialization is a practical process.
We want you to invest in your company.
There are very little things you can do and achieve so much.
So just mentor them.
We are more about
To build this nation, it's by thinking differently. It's by reasoning together. It's by working together as one.
So there's you must innovate or die.
Come to our pride from state. Tell each other the truth.
I am ready to be part.
Let's arise and reason together to build a new and better Bible, and greater Nigeria and Africa and land. That's what podium of leadership is all about. Let's arise and build, arise and build, a better place, arise and build a Bible to the next level.
Ladies and gentlemen, help me welcome your host to the podium of leadership, Dr. Victor Udo.
Be seated. Welcome to the podium of leadership. It's always been my pleasure to see all of you in the studio and also to know that there are so many of you listening to us on the radio and on the television. You know, it is what you think that makes you who you are. If you think like someone who's going to claim this promised land, you're not going to see recession. You're going to see resources. You're not going to see poverty. You are going to see riches. You're not going to see unemployment. You are going to see employment. You're not going to see poverty, but wealth. And that's the whole notion of what we've been thinking, the way we want our people to think. It's no more time to think that effort is what is holding you down. The only person that is holding you down is yourself. The way you think about yourself, the way you think about your people, the way you think about your state, the way you think about your country. That's the same way your country is going to look like. If you think about your country being better than America, your country will be better than America. Someone dreamed one day that we're going to create Dubai, and they created Dubai, and now everybody wants to go to Dubai. I don't see why we cannot create any type of aquarium that we want. And it's not just the governor that is going to do it. It's the people of this great state that will work together. You know, His Excellency came in and helped us to pray. So we've handed it over to God. It's now time for us to arise and build. And when we work together, there's nothing that's going to stop us. It's even in the Bible. When the people were trying to build Babel, and one of the angels said, let's arise, let's go. If we don't scatter them, they're going to build Babel. And God had to scatter them. Because when people are together, there's nothing that can stop them. So that's why when the governor of this state talk about political and economic inclusion, he's talking about people working together. Time is gone that we have to divide ourselves. There's no more time for divide and conquer. It's time for us to work together inclusively, put our resources together politically and economically, and then consolidate on the infrastructure we have, and then begin to create jobs. Once we create jobs, wealth is going to come, and when wealth comes, poverty will be eliminated, will be alleviated. That's the kind of aquarium that we are talking about. That's the kind of thinking that this platform is here to promote. So, ladies and gentlemen, once again, welcome to the podium of leadership. In today's program, I'm going to spend more time listening to people. We've had a lot of people, especially when we have question and answers, people want to know what is going on. And we're going to open up for so many questions today. We are going to interact. But if you are listening to us on the radio and you want, to come into the audience, just send us a text message. And I will let you know the number that you can send us a text in a very short while after we answer a very few questions. So first of all, let's take a few questions from those who have already asked. Can we take the first question?
Good day, Podium of Leadership. Is it possible to come to Podium of Leadership and talk about online currency trading, which is the next thing that will make billionaires in dollars in future? Unfortunately, people came to our state and defrauded our people of their hard-earned money with the acronym Forex. In reality, Forex is real, and many outside Nigeria are becoming billionaires trading online and making money while at the comfort of their homes and offices. You can build $200 to $5,000 within a short period, and I have system I can train the people of Akwa Ibom on this. ICT will not work in Akwa Ibom State if we cannot convert it to a money-making venture. Thank you, Jerry Okun.
All right, Jerry, that's a very interesting, it's a question, it's a comment, it's an idea, and so on. I hope, Jerry, you are making your money. Because if you don't make the money, how are you going to make me to make money? So I hope you are a millionaire yourself, and anytime you have more information, you have something to share, you think you can come here and encourage Akwa Ibom people to be able to trade on using information communication technology to trade, the new Forex, you are welcome. Please just send us more information about yourself. We'd like to talk to you, but make sure what you are coming to talk on the radio, what you are going to tell people is for real. It's not just, talk for talk purposes. What kind of a show do we have here? So we are not a talk show. If you just want to come and talk, there's no room for just coming and talk. But if you are coming here to testify that you have this ICT platform that you are using to make money, that you yourself, Jerry, that you have make enough money, and you are able to also spend money to help people make money, welcome anytime. And we'll be glad to have you to interact with Akwa Ibom people and interact with people that are here in the audience. Thank you very much for the idea. I think it's a good idea. I don't know about people that have come here to defraud us. And shame on us if they defraud you once, if they defraud you twice. Shame on you. Someone said, shame on you if you defraud me once. But shame on me if you defraud me twice. So don't let someone defraud you twice. And Jerry, if you know anybody that is defrauding Akwa Ibom people, let us know and let the authority know, because that's crime. But if you really, really have something you think can help people to create wealth, you think people can actually be able to speculate, and you have the right platform and you want to build a platform for that, you are very welcome. It's part of wealth creation, it's part of job creation, but it has to be a practical testimony. Hopefully you've done it yourself and you can demonstrate. You are not trying to take money from people. Because if you do that, then you are no different from the fraudster that you mentioned. But if you really, really have done it, and you can teach people to do it, let us know. We will put you on this program. Thank you, and shall we take the next question?
Hello, sir. I have been following the Podium of Leadership for some months now. I want to start a crayfish business, but I don't have the capital. I need your advice. Ubong Emmanuel.
Okay, Ubong, that's a very good question. By the way, you are on the Podium of Leadership, the POL with Victor Udo. Call us at 0902-300-7299. The POL with Victor Udo, 0902-300-7299. That number is scrolled on the screen. You can visit us on our website. You can also like us on the Facebook. You can tweet us on the numbers that are being scrolled, or the links that are being scrolled. But Ubong, I think you are doing the right thing. We are in the coastal area. I hope maybe you are from one of the coastal local government, or Ibonombo, or any of them. Even if you are not from there, it's my understanding. Because one time a cousin of mine called me all the way from Bida in Niger State and said she wants to come here and buy crayfish and take it to Bida. Now, I don't know if you want to go into the fishing itself, or you want to go into drying of it, or you want to go into being a broker, buy from the people that have it and sell it to other people. Again, like I've always told people here, it's not enough to have an idea. Sit down and write it down. Now, if you have the ability to call us on this Podium of Leadership, I assume you are not from the village. So you should be able to write. Put what you are asking, what you are trying to do in writing. If you can put it in writing, even the Bible says that. Put it in writing and run, and people will follow you. Put in writing, let's see what you are able to do. How much money? Many times people come to me and say, I want to do business. And I say, how much money do you need? He said, I don't know. I want to do business. What do you want to do? I've not thought about it. So in your own case, you have narrowed it down to crayfish. And it's something that is abundant in our area. But what do you want to do with crayfish? I'm pretty sure you don't have the money to buy the big ship to go and do the fishing. what do you want to do? What part of crayfish business do you want to be involved in? So if you can do that and begin to articulate, write it down, and people understand, and then you begin to know how much money do you need. That's where we can pair you up with people that can provide those kind of resources. It's not the podium of leadership, nor myself, Victor Udo, that will give you the money. But if you convince me of your business plan, I can introduce you to people that can make money available for you to do business. That's what we are trying to do in this state. You know, anywhere, everywhere you go. I was in church today. Everybody's talking about Dakada in church. All of a sudden, we thank God this philosophy of Dakada, people are catching it. And it's in a very good time that this recession is visiting us so that we stop depending on oil. So everybody now is arising. So you can also be a great crayfish seller. When I was in the United States, most of the crayfish that they ground and sent to us, they were coming from Ghana. So I don't know your level of education, your level of involvement. You can start grinding this crayfish and package it. And we can see how we can help you send it outside. So please, Ubong, Emmanuel, write it down in a form of a business plan. Let's see what you are trying to do. Let's understand what you are trying to do. It doesn't only have to be us. You can take it to any other person. But if you can clearly write it down, someone will be able to help you. How much money do you need? What do you want to do with the business? Articulate it very well. Thank you for asking. Let's take another question.
We are all aware that the present government reopened peacock paint industry. Please, can you comment on its present productivity? Mark Etam.
Mark Etam, that's a very good question that you've asked. Yes, I know the government have, and quite honestly, it's something we should give government credit for. You know, whenever you have an asset and it's lying down there not being productive, the best thing you do if you are the asset owner is to try to put life into it. Now, I know a chairman, someone that I know very well, Engineer Billy Etuk, have been appointed a chairman of the board of Pickup Paint, and it's right there from that area. It's from Etinan. The thing is established in Etinan. I've not been there myself lately, so I might not be able to talk about it so much. But I believe it has been, it has been revived. So if you want to know yourself, go down there yourself, and then come back and tell us what you find. You are an Aquibomite. The paints industry belong to Aquibomite. You have the right to go there and say, I was just coming here to see how things are going. Not listening to what you read in the newspaper, because it might not be true. Just take a trip down there, Mark, and then come back and call us and let us know what you find there. Because all of us might not be able to go there. And we are just citizens like yourself. So you take it on. You arise for Dakada, Kaitinan, Kesena Pens, industry, and then come back and text us. Let us know what you found. Because it is people like you that will hold the people that have been put there in place, that will hold government accountable to do what government is claiming and wants to do. Thank you very much, Mark, for asking that question. Shall we take the next question? Or does someone here want to add something to that? Someone in the audience wants to add something to what Marketing just asked. Okay, we've given Mark the assignment. Mark, you arise, go to paint industry, see what is happening there, and text us and let us know, and we'll tell Aquibom people that this is what Mark did for us. Shall we take the next question?
Thanks for this show. Why can't it be aired earlier to reach a wider audience? I watched it from NTA. Emmanuel Ofyong.
Hello, Emmanuel Ofyong. That's a very, very good question. And thank you very much for asking, and thank you very much for watching. Now, we have programs across the entire week. Our first program is on AKBC, which is on the TV on Mondays, 12:30 p.m. And then the second one is on Planet on the radio. The radio one is about 30 minutes at 3 p.m. every Wednesday. And then we also have the NTA that you watch at 10 p.m. on Thursdays. We are also on the Inspiration Radio at 12:30 p.m. every Saturday. So we've gotten programs for different people across the time. And I'm sure people who like to watch in the night, people who like doing night stuff, like people who like to go to clubs or people who like to go to Tarry night, 10 p.m. is not that bad. And I'm sure there's a lot of people who that time fits better. There are people who 12:30 fits better that they watch on Mondays. And there are people who watch this thing or who listen to us on the radio on Inspiration at 12:30 p.m. every Saturday. Some on the Planet at 3 p.m. on Wednesday. So I think we've tried to make sure this thing fits everybody. Thank you, though, for asking the question. So if you have been watching on NTA, also keen on AKBC or listening to it on Inspiration, 12:30 p.m. on Saturdays, or Planet at 3 p.m. Thank you very much for the question. Shall we take the next question?
How can I become a member of the Podium of Leadership, and what are the requirements in terms of funds?
Yeah. Anybody here wants to answer that question? All right.
Becoming a member of the POL just needs determination. Someone who has the capabilities. You have to have the qualities of a leader. To become a member is free. For those who have been asking me this question several times, maybe at workplace, church, the POL is open to everybody. Just come and you'll be accepted.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, let me also add to that. If you're an Akwa Ibomite, if you're a Nigerian, and you want to think differently, you are interested in helping this state, this country develop, you are welcome, to the Podium of Leadership. Just send your name or call us, send a text on 0902-300-7299, and we'll put it on the WhatsApp. I think I've seen you guys create a WhatsApp, group. You can like us on the become our friend on the Facebook, or join the Twitter group, and that's it. You don't have to pay anything. Any day you are available that, you can come to the studio and participate. If you have any idea about leadership, about what we can do, or testimony of what you've done right, not testimony necessarily the one that you want to give in church, but you want to tell people that can also inspire them to do something different, you are welcome. There is no membership per se. Every Akwa Ibomite, every Nigerian that is thinking positively, is inspired to do what is good for the state, for the country, is welcome to be at the Podium of Leadership. Shall we take the next question?
My suggestion goes to fight food scarcity in the state. I believe that if the government should look at each local government areas and encourage them with what they have already on grounds in terms of agricultural produce. For example, Usei Koramama in Ibionibum had rice plantation before now. I feel such needs partnership and encouragement. Michael Obut.
Mike, thank you very much for asking that question. Again, from the federal to the state level, I think there is this move to move away from dependence on oil and going back to agriculture. Once upon a time, before we had discovered oil, I think in 1950 something, and then started producing more in abundance in the 60s and the 70s, we were known as a country for exporting palm oil, cocoa in the north, and groundnut in the north, cocoa in the west, and palm oil in the south. We were feeding ourselves with rice. We were not importing rice. I was so shocked the other day when the Minister of Agriculture said that we import $6 million worth of rice on a daily basis. If we can produce enough rice in Usei Koramama to feed just the people of Usei Koramama, that's some money that we are not importing. So if you are there, what I tell people on this podium is to form corporations or cooperative, because your land might be too small, you might not be able to do enough. Form cooperative and cultivate and plant. The governor challenged people the other day. He said for only 50 hectares of land, 50 hectares. If you can give him 50 hectares of land and allow him, and he will give you the seedling for cocoa to plant. All you need to do is give 50 hectares of land. They will give you an advanced version of cocoa, and you plant it for 6 years. He said after 6 years, the governor said, with 50 hectares of land, you'll be making $500,000 in a year. So think about that. $500,000 in a year. If you do the maths in today's Naira currencies, over 200 million a year. There's nobody in this state that has 50 hectares of land that can make that kind of money. But there will be some time of patience though, because the governor said, and I think this is a good platform to explain this to people, because when he says it, people don't understand. He has brought in the best kind of consultants. They are here. They're willing to help. So if you can go back, if you are hearing me and you are a village head, you are a clan head, you are a community leader, and there is land in your place that is up to 50 hectares, let the Ministry of Agriculture know. Form a cooperative. Approach them. They will give you advanced seedlings. You plant it. You are not going to start making money the following year. You're not going to start making money the second year. But in 6 years, it will yield. And the governor says the estimate is that you will make 2 million at today's pricing. You will make 2 million every year. 200 million, I mean, every year. That's a lot of money. And so when you hear people talking, and I can tell you this because I know there are people who are doing it. People are already beginning to go into farming. People are beginning to see that the oil is not the future. I remember one time in the previous administration when there was a plan to move away from Okada, motorcycle in this state. And I went to a church. I think I've mentioned it in this platform before. Went to a church and the pastor was preaching that now that people are being told to go away with Okada and start doing keke, that some people will now spend money to get keke, while some other people are going to complain. Some people are going to protest. Oh, the government doesn't want us to ride Okada. Other people in that process are spending time and money to buy keke. The people who started early and bought those keke, they probably bought 5, 6 keke and they've gotten return on their investment. And now they're renting that after they've taken their money and gone to do other business. And interestingly, I'm sorry to say this, he was saying that the Kwaibun people will be the one that will be complaining, but the foreigners will be the one that will come to invest. So now they're talking about this cocoa planting. Some of us are going to complain, and we are going to see 6 years as a very long time. Other people are going to give their land. Other people are going to get this advanced seedling of cocoa, and they're going to plant. And 6 years from now, they'll be sitting in their houses, their homes. They're not going to be looking for pension money. They're not going to be looking for someone to come and help them. They're going to be making money. And so I challenge you, listening to me on the radio or watching me on the TV, go back to your community. If you have 50 hectares of land, please approach Ministry of Agriculture. If you do not have access to Ministry of Agriculture, send me a text on this number, 090-2300-7299. Take advantage of this now, and you will not regret. There's some land that we've left, some bush that people have left for years. 5, 3, 6 years, they didn't touch. Bring such land, let government know, and they will give you the seedling. You plant, and once you plant it, you don't have to do much work, and the thing will yield. And in 6 years, 7 years, you now sit down and rejoice. That's what investment. That's the difference between investment and buy and sell. So please, if you have land for agriculture, if it is to sell koromama and you want to do rice, also send us a text and say, we have this amount of land, we want to cultivate rice. Some people are cultivating plantain, some are cultivating cassava, some are cultivating the government is opening a big plantation for coconut in Eastern Obolo and Ikorabasi in that axis. This whole country is going to change. And your governor is very passionate about it. They are going to revolutionize Agric. Now, the most important thing that your governor is thinking about is to industrialize. To industrialize, you need what? Raw material. And these things are going to be raw material. And when he's so passionate about cocoa, the fact of the matter remains that people will always drink Milo. People will always drink Bonfita. It will never go out of style. People will always need these things. So let's catch up the vision. So Mike Obot, do something about it. Don't just talk about it, do something. Form a cooperative. You cannot do it by yourself. Because God forbid, you started by yourself and you are not able to. It will die with you. So what you need to do is to arise, go to your village, you say Koromama. And I remember I say Koromama because the former governor used to talk about the road to say Koromama. You see, we have infrastructure. The issue now, we don't have a problem of road, of how to evacuate rice. Because the previous government has built road. I remember wherever the governor went, that former governor, he would say Koromama. So it's time for us to leverage that road in Isao Koromama and build this rice plantation. Thank you very much, Mike. I think there's some people in the audience who wants to add to your thoughts. Yes.
And I want to tell that person that one of the tenets of this program is looking away from government. He says that government should, but I want you to know that this government is people. They are not existing in the sky or heaven or somewhere else that you would think. So please, if you know what to do, just start something. there are local government supervisors, people that are taking care of agriculture in every local government. You can walk up to your local government council and tell them you have this idea. Or even if you don't want to go to them, put it into writing, as we always encourage people to do. And then come up, bring it to, you can come up to us, or you can go to your council boss, tell the person this is going to work. You have all that it takes to make it work in the local government. For example, in Orogonam, if you go there, we have so much of coconuts. They are in large quantity. So Orogonam can think of creating an industry of refining coconut. There is something that they can start on their own without even waiting for government, because government, it takes time and not going to bring good success.
Let me add to his point, because what government does is what individual cannot do. An individual is not expected to build a road, so government is expected to build a road. Now, big refining industry might be difficult for individual. So what government is telling you is just plant it. You know, I have to say this because, you know, it's an obligation on me to explain this to people listening. The governor said also, one of the things that used to happen when we were growing up, he had a name that he used, that people used to come to Akwa Ibom, this part, even while we were selling oil, palm oil. They will come, and our elder women will be the one cracking the nuts, and they will come and buy it for pennies, for very small amount of money. What government is going to do, what your governor has promised to do is, when people do the coconuts, he's going to make sure that they are sold at market price. People don't come and cheat you. If you are sitting down there and cultivating rice, or cultivating plantain, or cultivating banana, what government can do is to make sure the proper evacuation is done, so that you are not cheated. Our people used to be cheated so that's why when they were doing cocoa in the West, they used it to send a lot of their people to education. They built schools. They did a lot of things for themselves. In our own case, we were not properly organized. And they will come and they will buy those kernel from us at very low prices. Your governor has committed to making sure that doesn't happen again. So the people in Orogonam that have those coconut or palm oil kernel, whatever you have, that's the role of government, to make sure the right price are used to evacuate. So that was a very good point that you raised. The people in the local area might not be able to form the industry. They might not be able to process it effectively. The government is going to help to make sure they are properly evacuated at the right price. Because if you are giving the right price, no need, if you can sell your coconut or your rice or your plantain or your cocoa at international market price, you're not going to look for jobs. Let me tell you, the Americans too. The Americans, their products, their government help them to make sure their products are bought. So that's why America can feed almost the entire world. They have enough food. You know, many of you were not born during the Biafra War. Most of the food that we ate during the Biafra War is ancient history for some of you. Most of us that were growing up during that, the food that they gave us, as those of us who were refugees or who were deprived of food, they were American food. Because they know how to evacuate. And that's one thing government is saying that they will be able to do for us. So when we go back to agriculture and plant this thing, talking about cassava, you know, I know one of the big problem we have about agriculture is not being able to preserve. When it's time for mango, you see a lot of mango on the floor being wasted. When it's time for orange, you see a lot of orange being wasted. That's the kind of thing big companies or government can come in, you know. What the little people cannot do. But the little people, everybody in the village, and when I say little, I don't mean small in that sense, few cooperative can do in the village, is the planting. And when government is able to help in the evacuation at the right price, that would encourage people. And that would also do, it would stop what we call urban migration. You don't have to be in Uyo to make money. Because land in Uyo is very expensive now. But land in your village is not as expensive. And the kind of techniques that we use in cultivating in the villages, that improve seedlings, that improve methods, that if you talk to your supervisor, like he said, look how people are paid. People are paid to be an agricultural supervisor. People are paid to do things. We have to hold them accountable and leverage from it. You know, when we don't keep them busy, they start doing other stuff because they're not busy. So if you know in your local government there is a supervisor for agriculture, get him involved. Work with him. And if you know that people are coming from other places to come and take advantage, because I know they do that even in oil. You know, some people would do the oil palm, you know, and they will put it in drums, and people will come and buy it at a very low price. Those are the kind of things you can begin to talk about. When we put them all together, we have what is called economy of what? Economy of scale. That's the kind of thing that government can help. Yes, you have been dying to say something.
Yes, I want to add to what Mike has just said, not only to Mike, for others that are of the mentality to go into agriculture. And it's also a tip for Ministry of Agriculture, and for others I want to invest in rice. Apart from it, will say Mike I want to give you a tip that, like there are a lot of silos standing wasted. During the past regimes in late 80s and early 90s, there was a private investor that was planting rice in a very large scale there. And that rice was what we were feeding on. That was when I was a boy. And now, those silos are lying there waste. It's now accommodation for bushmeat. And that big land mass now, as I speak, is being used for cassava plantation, which was not meant for it. And later in the history, the woman later ran away because of the situation of that time. And those silos is what government will have spent so much to do. And they're lying there waste. So government can just reform the way they reform pick up pens, just enter, they talk to attack people, they do into business, those silos.
Let me put you to work and challenge you. Because what kind of a show is this?
A do show.
Can you find out who the supervisor of agriculture is in your place?
I can do that after now.
Okay, find out who the supervisor of agriculture. Let him understand what is there and see what we can do. I'm not going to, perhaps, I don't know until we go there. Is cassava a better product there than rice? Let's look into it. That's what, when I went to school some times ago, when I was doing my PhD, there was what my professor called operational citizenship. Everybody say operational citizenship. Operational citizenship. Operational citizenship. Operational citizenship. Operational citizenship means you are a citizen. You don't sit down. You operate, you work. So if you see something like what he has seen in his own community, what are you doing about it? What can we do about it? Maybe at the end, we might find out the silos are bad. They cannot use them again. So be it. But at least someone did something about it. So in Jogdia, the ball is in your court. Do something and come back and testify. Let's give it up for him. Thank you.
Do you want to see beyond your vision? Do you want to hear what other people think about leadership? Do you need a reshaping of your mindset and mentorship? Then tune in to the Podium of Leadership, the POL with Victor Udo, showing on AKBC Channel 45 every Monday by 12:30 p.m. and on NTA Channel 12 Uyo every Thursday by 10 p.m. Tune to the POL on Planet FM on Wednesdays by 3 p.m. and on Inspiration FM every Saturday by 12:30 p.m. You can be a guest on this program. You can also advertise your product, goods and services, or sponsor the program by calling our office line 0902 300 7299. That is 0902 300 7299. Visit our website on www.thepol.com.ng. Like our page on facebook.com/The Podium of Leadership, or follow us on our Twitter handle at The Pol with Victor. The Podium of Leadership do show. Join us.
Shall we take the next question? Next question.
Kudos, the Podium of Leadership. I really enjoy your mentorship, but may I seek your counsel? What kind of business can I invest 1.7 million, which is my pension, in order to have a sustainable source of income? Thank you, Mr. Ndemongwem.
That's a very, very good question. You have 1.7 million in your hand, and I hope it's not in your pillows. I hope it's in the bank. Number one, because if it is in the bank, I know the interest rate, what they are paying you is very little, and you want to know what you can invest 1.7 million to do. Let me open up to the audience. What if someone gave you 1.7 million? What would you do?
All right, thank you very much. I want to give as an advice to the person asking the question. If I was in position to have such money, I would personally go into palm oil mill. Palm oil mill is...
Palm oil mill with 1.7 million?
Yes, just a little of it. Gradually, it will grow, and before you know, you'll be earning...
No, are you sure?
Much.
You can use 1.7 million to buy a palm oil mill and you're a pensioner. No other source of income. You only have 1.7 million.
Okay, actually, this is what I mean. Just getting a generator plant and what can boil the palm itself, and then what can extract the oil, which is not actually costly. These three machines... You don't know for a fact,
though, do you? 1.7 million. This is not a hypothetical. Someone have 1.7 million and it's coming to you as someone who have been coming to the podium of leadership. Say, what do I do with this 1.7? Tell him go and do a meal with 1.7. Go and buy what with 1.7?
Okay, if that's not favorable for the person, he can also go into the trading, the palm oil trading.
He said he doesn't want to do in trading. He said he wants to invest. Isn't that what the question was? Yes. Okay, who wants to take a shot? Yes. Nice try. Let's see someone else. Yes, you.
Thank you very much. If I happen to see the person, I will advise the person to go buy shares. Yes, that's what I would advise.
It's a pensioner.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So,
but I will advise him on area he will buy.
Don't take any of this advice here. We are just brainstorming. At the end, it's going to be your decision, because I don't want you to say someone in podium of leadership told me to use my 1.7 and buy palm meal. And the other one say shares. The one that I told you that I'm sure, if you can find a good bank, put it on the bank for now. Put it in a good bank. Not all banks are good, so put it in a bank for now. But we're going to try and see what we can come up with. Okay, complete.
Okay, as I was saying, I will advise him to use part of the money to invest in shares, and at least 1 million naira to put it in a fixed account. You know, in 2 or 3 years.
So 1 million in fixed account.
1 million
seven in shares.
7 in shares.
Okay, that's your suggestion.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's find this corporate guy here. He looks like a corporate guru.
Thank you, sir. If I were the person, I would just simply go to investment of storage oil. Now, if you can see the business now, it's so lucrative, it's so progress. If you use 1.7 million naira and buy oil and store it for only 3 months, you can have 3 point something.
Are you sure?
I'm quite sure, because last 3 or 4 months, oil was so around 3 or 4,000 per carton. No, 20 liters. 20 liters.
I mean, palm oil. Per drum.
No, 20 liters. It was 4,000 to 5,000 naira, but now that we are talking, it's 9,000 to 10,000 naira. Just last 3 months ago. So if you can calculate it in 1.7 million, I think you can have more than 3 million.
No, I hope you are listening, because this is a very interesting thing. There's also what is called time value of money. 1.7 million at the beginning of this year is worth what now in dollars? It's half of that. If you had 1.7 million at the beginning of this year, when dollar was selling for about 200 naira per dollar, and now the same naira is 450. That money is already half. And so this is a very good question that Ndian Mong asked. He has 1.7 million. What can he do with it? If I give you guys on this audience, you've been coming to Podium of Leadership, I give you 1.7 million. Because Ndian Mong is willing and ready to give you to invest. What are you going to invest in? This one say buy oil. So are you sure the oil value is appreciating, or is it the dollar that is depreciating?
It's appreciating. Yes. Very costly now.
Oil is very, very costly now.
Very costly.
So if he buys it now, what's the guarantee that in 6 months, like you said he should store it for 3 months. What is to say that in 3 months it's not going to go down?
The oil business has a season. Now, if I were the person, I would advise the person to go into trading of palm oil. Trading of palm oil is very, very lucrative business now. If you can calculate it,
I think I don't want to use the word trading because he's saying where can I invest?
Okay,
so you want to do short-term investment.
Investing into palm oil business. Then if you can calculate the period of 3 months, I think the money will double or triple.
So basically, you're saying buy oil in a low period, which is March.
Yes, March to May.
March to May, store it, and then in September
to December, you sell it in a very high price.
Okay, good suggestion. Good suggestion. Okay, that next year. All right, next person.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Ndimo, I hope you are listening because we are not going to prescribe these things for you. Okay, we are just brainstorming. I know you asked a very specific question, 1.7 million, what do you invest in? So people, Akwa people, young people here, people have dabbled into businesses and maybe lost money and make money are suggesting things. Because we are not going to stand here on this podium of leadership and become an investment advisor. We are just giving you ideas to think about. At the end, if you come to us, maybe send us more detail once you pick one of these things that you believe in. Because if you don't really believe it, if it's not in your heart, it was someone that just tell you, it's not going to go anywhere. So let's hear from him.
Thank you very much. My own idea, with 1.7 million naira, if you go into poultry business, in a month, you can be making 1.2 million naira.
What kind of poultry would you make?
This is my own breakdown. With going into poultry business, like going into chicken business, chicken food, you open up a shop, like an eatery, you work with a farm, you partner with a farm. This farm has a poultry house. What you do, the farm produces birds for you. At age of maturity,
so what's the investment there? You are just buying chicken to sell?
You're buying the chicken and you're processing it into food, like grilled chicken, chicken pepper soup. You can sell 20
There are tons of people that are doing that now on the road.
Sir, what we're looking at is healthy food. You can be promoted if you are producing healthy food for the environment.
So this woman gives you, and then young man gives you 1.7 million. What would you do?
1.7 million now, you go into chicken food business in Akwa Ibom State. I've not seen any big eatery that is into that, only in Lagos and Abuja.
How about this food affairs? How about Kilimanjaro and all of that?
I'm talking of KFC, only chicken.
Do you know what KFC is?
They do chicken pie, chicken.
No, you know what Kentucky Fried Chicken is? It's a franchise.
Yes, sir.
So when you say KFC, 1.7 million does not buy you a franchise.
So I'm not talking of going in large scale. I'm talking of starting small. If you sell 20 chickens in a day, you sell 1,500 grilled chicken in a day, you're making up to less.
That's that investment. So maybe it should give you, it will not give you the 1.7 because I agree with people say don't.
That 1.7 might not be, it's too much.
So if you give you 500,
yes, he can do that.
500 of this 1.7 today. In 1 month, how much will you give?
In 1 month, she can be making 400,000 naira.
He doesn't want to trade. He wants to invest.
Yes.
He doesn't want to be the trader. He doesn't want to be the one that is doing. He wants to invest. So if I introduce you to Mr. Nyanyongmo and he gives you 500,
so in
1 month, how much would you give him back? Because an investment is looking for what? A return. Investor doesn't want to trade. He doesn't want to run around. He just want to give his money and the money gives him return.
Sir.
He gives you 500 today.
Yes, sir.
What would you do with it?
Sir, in 1 month, 500,000 in 1 month, he can be making 400,000 from the investment.
What would you do if he gives you 500?
Sir.
That's the question. Not some theoretical thing. 500, the woman has 1.7 in the bank. He's looking for a way to invest. 500, we are dangling 500. Who wants to take 500? What do you want to do? Every one of you come to this podium
I will
and say,
just go into chicken meat business. That's what I will do. More of it, corporate.
You have a plan now?
Yes.
We'll try and arrange. Send us some more detailed information.
We have.
There are people here. This one say oil business. The other one say poultry. The other one say stock. The other one say palm meal. What else does someone else say? Okay, so Nyanyong, there are 3 different ideas that you've heard. Okay, there are at least 3. Palm oil, fixed account. That one you can do without going to anybody, and this poultry thing. Okay, I'm sure this is not a joking matter. This is someone who have 1.7 million that wants to see how he can make money. I'm betting you there are many other people who have money here in this state. And what I keep hearing from people, I have this business idea. I don't have capital. There are some capital in this state, like this 1.7, looking for an investment. And we don't even encourage her to spend 1.7. Only spend 500. Who here is going to give me a business plan for 500? In one of our programs, someone said, I will produce clocks. Just give me 1 million. And that's the kind of thing that is raising these kind of questions. I keep telling you guys, if you have a business plan, money, capital is not a problem. People have money in this state. It's just having a good business plan for someone to invest. So turn your oil business into a plan. And we'll try and find Nyanyoma. Someone say, don't take someone money and run. That's maybe the role we can play. That's the role maybe government can play. If Nyanyoma bring his 500 and you bring your plan and you have your security, because that's what I told Mr. Tickle to go through. When you go to a finance corporation, they're going to ask you for security so that you will not run away with someone's money. Yes. So if Nyanyoma actually have 1.7 to invest and you think you can get it back in 3 months or 6 months, then we have to ask some security. And you think you can get it back in poultry, we have to have security. I don't know about the stock market, because the stock, I don't want to give it to you. He would have to go to, we've had someone here, a stockbroker. We'd have to send him to the stockbroker. So in Nyanyoma, there are many, many options. Please stay in touch with us, okay? Shall we take the last question?
I have been running lost out of business because of wrong partnership. Please, how can I do away with this to stand firm and run a genuine business of my own? Emmanuel.
Okay, Emmanuel, that's a very common problem. And what we do here, including a lot of sophisticated people, is we don't do what is called due diligence. Everybody say due diligence. Due diligence. Say due diligence. Due diligence. They say called due diligence. Now, they do it in marriage. When a young man wants to marry, and he goes to that other family, yeah, and I'm say, Ndongo. Due diligence is nothing but what? Ndongo. Many times, Ndongo. And so, many a times, you want to go into investment, Emmanuel, you have to do Ndongo. That's the problem. Because if you just see someone, and we were talking about oil and chicken and 500, and someone would say, what did they say? That's the problem. Anytime you want to take it and run, or you want to... In the next program, I'm going to bring someone who have done business in the United States and have come home to do business and see the contrasts, the challenges. We don't do our due diligence. And when you don't do your due diligence and you form partnership with someone, the partnership is not going to stand. It happens also in big corporations. It happens even in government investments. Because some of these industries that are Isong, many of you were not born when Isong came in. Isong started Sunshine Batteries, it started biscuit industry, started quartz steel industry, this pen industry that we are talking about. Did we do the proper due diligence of these technical partners? And when they come in, they get the money that the government is giving them and they run away. The same thing is happening to individual people because we don't do Ndongo. But when we want to give our children to marriage, we take that. Maybe they used to do it in the past. Maybe they're not doing it anymore. That's why we are having so many divorces these days. But in those days, you are going to marry someone's child. The parent will just laugh at you. They will send someone behind. I remember my grandfather. When my uncle came to me and said, I'm going to get married. He's from way down in Oborokara, and the woman is way up in Okanafon. They send someone behind. And they also send someone behind the scene. That's due diligence. Some mechanical due diligence. Before a European or American would do business with you, you would do due diligence. And so, Iman, and to everybody listening to me on the TV, on the radio, we got to learn the practice of due diligence. We have to do Ndongo. That's number one. And number two, Iman, so that people will not run away, is to get security. Security. The bank does that. Before a bank gives you a loan, they will tell you, bring someone to guarantee. Bring your land as a collateral. And so if you are going to do business, you are going to give someone money, you have to first of all do due diligence of that person. Is that person who thought, is he 419? What kind of family do you have? What do people say about that person in his village? Or even in his church? You got to do due diligence before you partner with anybody, before you give your money to any person. That's number one thing, Emmanuel. And then the second thing is the concept of collateral. And then the third thing I would suggest to you is be honest yourself. Because our people say, "One carry no work, bara won." So if you are coming to do utoto, the other person is also coming to do utoto, and at the end there will be no partnership. So you two have to be honest with yourself. Do you have the complete knowledge of the business you are trying to get involved in? You know, the other guy was telling you the season to buy all and none, and you go and give him the money at the wrong time. And then next time you expect the money to come, it doesn't come because it's not the right timing. So you have to be honest with yourself. You have to do evaluation. If you are talking about stock, I think I've mentioned it here also, you have to do what is called fundamental analysis. You have to understand what the business is capable of doing. What are the upside and downside of that business before you form any partnership? So, Iman, that was a very good question, and I think we are going to start with that one. If you are going into business, big business, you are going to any kind of partnership with any person, our grandparents didn't have to go to Harvard. They didn't have to go to Howard University. They didn't have to go to Lagos Business School to know. So that's the number one thing. Anybody that is coming to propose anything to him, may propose marriage, may propose business. Nam some ball. But can I go due diligence? You gotta do your due diligence. When you do your due diligence, it's not gonna be perfect answer. I know most of us are Christians. We go to church. We will end up saying it's God's will. Even God's will. Some people would ask, is it permissive will? You know what kind of will it is. So you gotta do your own due diligence. You gotta pray about it. As a Christian, you have to pray about it. But if you don't do due diligence and you pray, you won't even know left or right. Even when God is speaking to you, you won't understand, you won't hear. And then the second thing is, if you are going into business, try to get some kind of a guarantee. What is the background of this person? What does he have? Someone is telling us that he wants to come and create an ICT platform that you can trade in Forex. Great idea. But how much has he done? You know? Like he's telling you that you can make a lot of money in oil. Have you done it before? Yes, sir. Have you seen someone else that have done it before? The other one say you can 500, you will in 1 month you will return your money back. Have you done it before? Who has done it before? Those are the kind of things. That's how we are going to create wealth in this country. Do due diligence in this state. That's how we are going to alleviate poverty. So, Iman, you are in the right direction. You've made mistakes. Let me also tell you the upside of all those failures. Bill Gates, who is a very big, everybody knows Bill Gates as a big, rich person. Do you know he hires people that have failed? Failure is not the end of the story. So if you had partnership before, I have a friend that is a very shrewd businessman, and he hardly trusts people. I said, oh boy, you have to trust people at some times. He said, no, these people, they always fail me. You know, there are people who actually hire people who have failed. You know why they do that? Because they know if you fail in this path before, you're not going to go to that path again. So you're not going to take that same risk. You've learned. Failure is supposed to be an opportunity to learn and grow. Failure is not the end. So if you've partnered with someone before and they defrauded you of your money, I hope you learn. And next time you will do what? You will do due diligence. You will ask for collateral. You ask questions before you enter into partnership. And you yourself will be honest and true to yourself. Ladies and gentlemen, it has been a very, very good opportunity to listen to questions. We started with Jerry, the brother Ubong Iman that wants to do crayfish business, marketing, Iman Ofyong who wants to know other times of our program. We talk about food security, you say Koromama, that we all know as a place that there's good road infrastructure. Yeah. It's now time for investment in rice and other things in Isai Koromama. I can't even talk about Isai Koromama more than Mike, but we've also heard from Ndimong, who said it has 1.7 million. No, I hope you are serious. But even if you were just throwing a question, I tell you it brought very good discussion. But if you actually have 1.7 million that you want to invest, let us know. There are young men who have good ideas, who have good business plans that we can work with you and partner, put you together. And then lastly, Emmanuel, you actually concluded this discussion for us very well on the need to do due diligence, on the need to do ndongo, to find out what the background of people that you are partnering with. Now, nobody, and that's one of the things we've been talking about in this platform, to create what we call the corporate acquirement. Corporate acquirement is not an individual business. It's not sole proprietorship. It's not just partnership. And that's why we encourage many of you to form cooperatives. Because one person, the Bible says, two is better than one. You know, one of you can raise 1,000, but two of you, how many? 10,000. So there is power in partnership. But to partner, do due diligence. You know, find out who the people you are partnering with. Find out what their background is, what they are capable of doing and what they are not capable of doing. Find out if they are coming to defraud you, if they really have genuine business interest. And when we do that, we'll be able to create wealth, we'll be able to create jobs, and we'll be able to eliminate poverty in our land. Once again, thank you very, very much for being on the podium of leadership. God bless you and God bless Akwa Ibom State.
It's all about the better place.